right. Well, we're going to go ahead and get started today. Welcome everyone to this webcast from Impartner. My name is Curtis Brinkerhoff. I'm also joined by Ethan Winkleman from our product development team. We appreciate the opportunity to meet with you guys today and to cover our new program compliance solution. This is one that I personally have been extremely excited about. This gives us some great capabilities to bring to the table in terms of our solution set. Some very unique capabilities to help automate a lot of manual work. So we're really excited to talk about program compliance today and our new program compliance manager solution. So during this webinar, we're going to be covering a few things in terms of the solution offering, some standard questions and information that we have received, and going through this in a demo as well. So something that Ethan will be helping us out with on the demo. But if you do have questions or have come to the webinar today with some questions, we absolutely want to leave some time for those questions. Please feel free to type those into the question chat section during the webinar. So feel free to just plug those in, and then we will open it up to answer those questions towards the end of the webinar. But feel free to type those in at any time. Certainly want to make sure that we cover those during the call here today. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So program compliance, this has been a hot topic for us. Over the last several years, we've been working with some of the industry-leading companies, everything from Fortune 100 companies to several of those you see on the list here. Many of you on the webinar today come from these companies and have told us about challenges that you have in terms of tracking program compliance. Impartner has been in the industry for about 20 years now, working with channel-specific focus, making sure that we're delivering the best possible channel solutions to the market. And everything that we do, we try to learn from what you tell us, and we try to take that feedback very seriously to make sure that we're incorporating good solutions and offerings into the platform, but also solving critical problems that you guys have. So we really appreciate your efforts in working with us, and we want to thank everyone on the webinar here today for the contributions you have made to our company and to us being able to create leading solutions like we're going to cover today. So thank you to everyone on the call. We really appreciate that. As we have learned from different organizations that you see here, we have tried to make sure that we take that feedback in a meaningful way. And one of the things that we did in terms of program compliance is, because this became such a significant issue, we sent out a survey to many of you on this call and across our client base, but also across several other organizations that we have and relationships that we have with organizations like Forrester, IDP, and others, so that we could get feedback on how significant of a problem program compliance was today in the industry. And what we found was really telling. That is that program compliance is one of the most significant issues that companies deal with today when it comes to the channel, not just because of the lack of confidence that people have in where their current status is for partner status, but also because this is a legal issue for companies as well. If we do not properly demonstrate to our partners where they are in our programs and the fact that they might be at risk in terms of their earnbacks, their incentives, or their commission rates, that can pose a significant legal concern. And especially if people are going to be demoted within your program, that has ramifications not only to them financially, but also to that relationship as well if it's not clearly articulated. So in this survey that we conducted, we found that more than 60% of people lack essentially confidence that their partners know and understand where they are in their programs, but also that they're in the right program at all or tiered correctly within that program. And as such, people are paying a significant amount of money not knowing where they are or if people are in the proper status within their programs. So as we took that into consideration and we started to think about how we demonstrate, but then efficiently move and manage these relationships, we tried to incorporate not just kind of the programmatic business end of this, but also incorporate that into a great user experience. because user experience for our partners is always critical in terms of their success and how they look at your channel program. And the easier we make it for them to work with you, the more successful, of course, you can be. And then in many cases, we found that people are leveraging 2, 3, and in some cases, we even heard of as many as 7 people are involved regularly to help figure out and determine where partners are in their ecosystem. So the amount of time, energy, and cost that goes into this is significant, but then it's presented to the partner in an ad hoc basis and very statically, typically in a business review that happens on a quarterly basis or something of that nature. So we found that not only is it hard to figure out where partners should be, but then keeping them informed is difficult because there's so many people that have to be involved in that. And partner account managers, channel account managers have to regularly schedule times to do that or provide that in some form of an ad hoc basis that's a challenge as well. So what does this really mean for us? Well, Impartner built this to be a technology, right? We've built Program Compliance Manager in a way to automate this process for you, remove that manual labor, automate the communication, the collaboration, but also systematically for you guys to be able to set up what those program compliance metrics are so that you can effectively manage your program your way. It does not have to be, everyone's in a cookie cutter type of a format. It can change in different ways. So as we look at this and we start to look at how your programs change over time, how your programs are built and established, and what are some of the KPIs that you're looking at, we have built and designed this to give flexibility for you to create and edit and manage that in conjunction with having different structures across the globe, right? We work with a lot of organizations that are global companies, and the requirements in South America versus EMEA versus North America versus APAC are all different. So we have the flexibility built in for you guys to manage those programs with unique requirements, but ultimately rolling up to how they're doing against your business objectives. And then, of course, being able to look at what if scenarios and see how that's going to impact your business and your partners as you think about what your change might be like on a year-to-year basis. And if you change some of your program metrics, getting a feel for how that's going to impact your client base is a significant advantage to this technology. And then, of course, having it integrated not only to our PRM technology, but to your CRM environment and making sure that we can pull over some of that critical CRM data to help with some of these KPIs and managing your program. So this is a great opportunity for you guys to look at not only programmatically, but proactively your partner programs and be able to manage those, but then start to think a little bit more intuitively and anticipate more intuitively some of the changes that you might be considering and evaluate how those can impact your programs. And then, of course, reporting metrics on this as well so that you can see what partners are in what categories and then how they're trending. Overall, reporting, as we know, BI, analytics information, reporting information, all of those in today's world are critical. So incorporating that into this methodology has been critical for us. So as we talk about this and as we move to the live demo, you'll see just overall how easy it is to set up and configure these program compliance metrics and then automate the engagement with your partners and what that looks like to them on a day-to-day basis. And they can look at that at any time, and it's articulated and shared with them live in real time based on the information that we have in the system and that you guys have in PRM and CRM. So this greatly reduces the time, energy, and effort that you guys spend to manage this with your partners. But most importantly, partners clearly understand where they are in your ecosystem and what they need to do to have the best successful next step within your program. So with that, we're going to turn things over to Ethan Winkleman to do our live presentation for us here and kick things off with just diving into first how to set up and configure some of the program models that you might be configuring, and then how to demonstrate that to your partners. So Ethan, I'll turn it to you.
Thanks, Curtis. Thanks for having me join this webinar. We're always excited to show off our new developments and and be able to get you excited and see the usefulness of what we're doing. So with Program Compliance Manager, we approached in terms of making it easy for you to kind of construct this tier structure so that you can see the requirements, see the tiers, and then be able to fill in values that are the requirements that you want your partners to be achieving. So this is kind of the end result of what you'd be building here, is being able to set up multiple tiers that accommodate for a single tier structure. As Curtis said, you can have multiple tier structures at any given time. The idea is that you might want to personalize it to a certain region, or you can even drill into specific levels, as I'll show here. This is the read-only view. This is what you'd be viewing as a PRM admin. You could go in and begin editing if you need to. You can see that we have multiple regions that are accounted for in this. Especially if you want it to be including multiple levels that you have set up, you can have that, or just have it be a single one. If you're not utilizing regions today, which we do recommend, but we understand that you might not be there yet, you can have that be not available or not selected. Some things to kind of point out then is we have this concept of promotion cycles and demotion cycles. As we talked with many of you, we found out that though you may want to set up your promotions to occur on a daily basis or weekly or monthly, all the way up to yearly, you may not want that same interval for your demotions. If you need to just not have them happen at all, that option's there, or if you just have a yearly demotion cycle, that can occur. Not to mention too, if you have a time zone that you want those to occur in, let's say it's out, far away from yours, you can have that set up. There's other flexible options included in here that will make sure that you can set up the way that you expect it to be done. I'm gonna close out some stuff here. This is always fun with the webinars and demos. All right. So then what we'll be showing off here is just kind of how do you set up a tier structure in general. As you can tell, colors are pretty important, especially for your brand or in just kind of showing progress through a tier structure. So we've gone ahead and opened up the ability to edit the badges and even import your own images, so that if you're already promoting some sort of awareness with your partners today, that can be available. And then of course the option with colors is also available. So if you have certain brand guidelines, you can go ahead and select that or input a hexadecimal code to allow that. Let's go into the organization of a tier structure itself. The idea is we have these requirement groups that you can go ahead and set up. So if you wanted to add in additional stuff, you can. In this regard, though, we have one that's already set up with qualifications, kind of a generic name there, but we want to be able to track active members. One thing to kind of point out here is this is data that you've supplied to us. We're not necessarily expecting just kind of having you to manage it all within your PRM, in our PRM. But if you're using CRM Sync or other integrations to pull in data, we're looking at the account to pull in these fields, custom or standard, and the values that they exist as. And so in this case, we pulled in these various requirement fields, and we can go ahead and start using them. In this case, I've gone ahead and set up some thresholds here to show the advancement to get up. This might be a little low, but we just kind of want to show that's the example there. I can then set up another grouping called revenue, where I'm showing deals registered, and I can also account for one closed amounts and have that be summed up and viewed here. If I am also looking to take advantage of certifications, which seems pretty popular and common amongst program compliance, we can go ahead and pull in some values of certified or trained individuals of an account. So if you have certified engineers or architect levels that you want to account for, send them our way. If you're using our existing training inserts module, then we will go ahead and surface the number of users that are certified in each of those certifications and have those be options to select from as requirements. In addition, we've gone ahead and set up this area for you to go ahead and type in the benefits that are listed out for each of these tiers so that your partners can keep informed of what they currently have access to, as well as what would be upcoming, so that they are motivated and incentivized to earn their next tier status. So this is kind of your sandbox to be able to go through and understand how to set things up, how it makes sense. If you have existing programs that you've already constructed, it'll be easy just to carry it over and set it up within here. What we also took advantage of was to have an easy to implement interface for your partners. So what we did is we created a core page out of the box that you can utilize that includes a couple of widgets, so you can see the flexibility here. This one is the expanded widget, and you can use the core page, or you can just take that widget, which I'll probably just show here, and plop it somewhere else on your portal if you want to be designing a specific experience. And so just as a plug, we continue to expand our widget offering with our existing products and upcoming products. The idea being you can start to customize the experience yourself within your portal and be able to combine, if you want to have a page that has journeys and has program compliance manager on there with some text and other motivating aspects, you can go ahead and set that up. But for our commitment here, we wanted to provide this turnkey approach, so at least in the same day that we turn it on for you, you can have this turned on and start presenting to your partner's progress. So as you can see, we do show what they've accomplished. This partner is on their bronze status and they're working towards silver. Unfortunately, they don't have any deals registered and they don't have any amounts yet. I think we set this one up so that the bronze is kind of the catch-all if they haven't earned anything else. You can go ahead and set it up so that they have a default status, so that if you don't want them to even enter the tier structure, that's available. But if instead you kind of want to throw them a bone, it's available just to have them land inside of bronze. As partners then earn stuff, and we're getting that data over either from your CRM or within PRM, we're going to update this and then show them their status and be able to show that they're progressing. If you view yourself though as more of a CAM or someone who's managing the day-to-day operations and you need to check on this information, we also created an experience within PRM for you. So under the account details here, here's kind of the accounts that I was looking at and viewing stuff here. If I go into this one account, what we've gone ahead and set up is a section for the tiers themselves. So you don't have to go in and impersonate the partner themselves to be able to check where they're at. You can go ahead and see what they're working toward, what their values are. And then of course, as a audit history, we have this tier history. So you can go ahead and see when they were promoted, and you can drill into it to see why. We understood that in many cases, it's one thing to be able to calculate and show it, whether they're promoted or demoted, but being able to have that conversation back with them to say, actually, well done, you got promoted because you hit these values, or actually demotion occurred because of this. It should speed up a lot of that conversation. As well, we understood that there was a need to be able to provide what we call white glove treatment, which you may have already had an arrangement that said, despite whatever data you have, we will have you enter in at gold or diamond level. So we do have an override option that's available that you can go ahead and set up for an individual partner. The idea, of course, is we've tried to kind of set up to be more of a temporary solution, because as we hear oftentimes, even though you may have them enter at a higher level, they may not qualify for that level ever. So it at least allows you that conversation to say, we're going to put you here, let's reevaluate where you should be later on. So you can go ahead and assign or override a tier status for them, and then go ahead and set an expiration date. So if you want it to happen for the end of the year or longer than that, you can go ahead and set that up, as well as adding notes so that, I'm sure you're just as forgetful as me, but why did we override them? What was the reason? So you can enter in some notes there that can remind you of those details. As well, we capture who then would have done the overriding. so that you can keep track of that. And you know, it's possible you didn't want that person to be doing that, so you can at least keep that there. So in this kind of three-pronged approach of having you go into PRM, being able to set up tier structures based off of the data that you have and can send over to us, then being able to provide a out-of-the-box portal experience that can be set up, and even you can be flexible in taking those widgets and putting them elsewhere, to the final prong of, hey, as a CAM, or at least someone who's working with the partners on a very tactical level, where can I go in to kind of see and be able to validate some of their progress and even provide some overrides. So in essence, this is what Program Compliance Manager is meant to do. It's meant to give you that insight, save you a lot of time and resources, and automate this whole process. We have gone ahead and integrated it with workflows, and so as promotions or demotions occur, you can set up emails. Well, the trigger itself is promotions and demotions. So emails would be the actions or whatever actions that you have set up. So you can go ahead and notify them as those, because we know partners aren't great about logging in because of various reasons, but this would then drive that, being able to notify them that they have had a promotion, to log in, see the new requirements, see their new benefits, and be able to act upon that. So that's where we're at, and of course it's available today. We are selling it. We can turn it on today as well for you. This isn't a custom implementation. This is a SaaS product where as soon as checks clear, we turn on the feature and you can start playing around with it. So with that, Curtis, that's the demo.
Yeah, I really appreciate that, Ethan. Thank you so much. And I'm just going to make sure that I've got the right screen showing here. And as Ethan mentioned, one of the things that you'll find with Impartner is that the technology we released today is technology that can be turned on today. So a key focus for us is making sure that you guys can receive a benefit from this immediately. So we can turn on this solution, we can have it delivered immediately to you and your teams, and of course then help train, coach, and educate you guys through how to stand this up immediately so that your company can get a benefit from it. As Ethan talked about, we built this to help automate this process for you, and I just wanted to share some of the feedback that we've received from some of our beta test customers and clients, and some of the results that we've seen in terms of ROI and savings. These are always beneficial to have as you look at and evaluate a solution. So of course, trying to help people improve revenue and reduce costs is our objective. And the ROI payback on this is significant, not just in the first 18 months, but I was speaking with one of our clients yesterday and evaluating this process and how many people they have involved. And simply by turning on the Program Compliance Manager and standing up this program automation engine, we would be able to cut their costs immediately within the first 30 days to see an ROI versus the cost of the solution. So significant financial benefits and automation benefits to the company in conjunction with a very good solution providing ROI benefit. This has been a great advantage for us in all the beta testing that we've done and seen. Not only has the platform been functioning phenomenally, but it's also had significant benefit right off the bat to the communication with partners, and that proactive communication with partners opens up so many other avenues to have more meaningful conversations to help drive business. When you think about coupling this technology with what you need partners to do on a day-to-day basis to be successful within your programs, there's such a significant financial benefit that it can show millions of dollars of benefit overall to you and your partners. So that's why Impartner's here, is to help serve and provide solutions to you guys that provide those benefits. So at this point, really appreciate everyone jumping on and spending time with us today. We will go ahead and open it up for questions. Feel free to put your questions into the chat section of the call here today and ask those questions, whatever they may be. You can also learn more about this product at our website, just go to impartner.com and check out our program compliance manager. Feel free as well to send me thoughts, questions, feedback, input. We didn't have, a ton of time today to go into, an hour-long or 2-hour-long demonstration, but certainly we're happy to follow up with additional meetings and discussions or questions. Feel free to send those to me at my email just listed at the bottom of the slide there, and we'll be happy to follow up with you on any questions you may have. So at this point, I will open it up for questions and see what questions we have in the queue. Brendan, any questions that we've got there?
Yeah, we've had a few come in while you guys are talking. The first one is there any kind of reporting feature on the admin side focused on overall tier progression?
Yes, absolutely. So one of the things that we built in is not only to have some reporting and analytics in our dashboards, but we also take snapshots of the tier structure and where people are in a tier at a given time. And then we can see their evolution through that program and process as well. So we could spend, a good 30, 40 minutes alone on just some of the reporting aspects. But we have tied this solution to all of our reporting and dashboarding. If you guys have seen our new channel Intel dashboards come out and our channel Intel Plus capabilities to create and manage your own dashboards, visuals, and create ad hoc dashboards based on the data that you want, all of this data can be included in those visuals, dashboards, and reporting. So great question. And certainly one of our key focuses as a company is to provide more data and intelligence for you guys to make educated decisions. So
next question is, can you automate the communication of tier status to be sent to partners once a month or a quarter, to be a once a month or quarter reminder?
Yeah, great question. So as Ethan mentioned during the broadcast there, we have tied this to our workflow capability. And if you're not familiar with our workflow capability, it's one of those capabilities that I would strongly encourage you to take a look at. Reach out to our team, our support team, or your client success manager so that we can get you educated on the capability of workflows, because workflows is a very powerful automation engine that we have. And we can automate that communication to go out in an email on a regular basis for when they advance to the next tier or the next status or the next category. Or we can do that on a monthly or quarterly basis if you prefer to just do that on a regular basis as opposed to when they advance through the program. But our workflow capability can automate that for you and send it out in an automated notification to tell them where they are at that time. So certainly tied to that capability of program compliance, we have automated that ability to do the communication. But workflows has a ton of capability just around automation of communication in regards to program compliance, but other things in the PRM solution as well. So if you're not familiar with that, reach out to us, but absolutely can automate that for you. Great question.
Next question is a two-part one. How would the translation look on the partner-facing side? And is it available in all languages the PRM is available in?
Yeah, good question. So all languages is always a tricky question, right? So Impartner supports hundreds of different languages, and we can support up to 33 languages in an individual portal at any given time. So depending on how many languages you have so far, I think our largest client using language translations is up to 23 different languages, but we can support those languages and absolutely can present to the partners in their local language. So Portuguese, Spanish, French, Japanese, Chinese, simplified Chinese, all your Arabic, Amharic, etc. are all supported languages, left to right, right to left. We support, and this can be presented in their local language using the Impartner translation framework. So absolutely, we want to deliver a good experience to them, but also support those languages for them. So.
And last question, if the data is from, say, a sales out system, can we just load a spreadsheet of data?
Yeah, so if if the revenue data or other data is from a sales out system, we can load that data. We have a couple of ways to do that. One is, of course, just someone coming in and doing a manual upload of that. The other way would be for us to automate that upload on a regular basis, depending on how often you want that to happen. So Impartner can help automate that process. But if that data is in your CRM instance, that is something that we can automate, just pulling it through the CRM instance with the CRM sync technology that Impartner uses for, Salesforce, Microsoft Dynamics, etc. So there's several ways to do that and automate it from your CRM system. But if it's coming from another ERP system or something of that nature, we can provide anything from a manual update to an automated import if you prefer to do that as well. So a lot of options, but we want to make sure that we try to make that as effortless and as seamless as possible so that you don't have to do that in a manual way. And we're trying to reduce as many people needing to be involved as possible and reduce as many hours as possible. But we have several options there and can certainly support you in whatever you need. Any other questions that have come up, Brandon? These are some great questions, guys. Feel free to type into the chat and add any questions. Some great feedback here. We always love to hear thoughts, opinions, feedback, and if you think that this product could use an enhancement or an adjustment, or maybe we just did not cover something for you, please feel free to reach out to us. We would love to hear your comments and input to make sure that we continue to improve as an organization. So, any other questions?
We just had one more question come in. How does this work with Journey Builder?
Great question. So this is actually one of the things that I get most excited about, because program compliance is overall company objectives, right? And as you work with your partner community and you start to build these KPIs and objectives, these are really outcomes, and you're trying to get partners to accomplish outcomes that drive program compliance. But what leads up to program compliance is a series of micro behaviors. And Journey Builder is ideally focused around those micro behaviors and how you help guide people to a successful path. So as you look at channel intel and some of the data analytics and information that we're giving you around your programs, you can use Journey Builder to define the most successful path a partner can take to help them accomplish those company objectives. So Journey Builder and Program Compliance Manager are so phenomenal to have working together, because you can build those journeys, you can guide a partner down a path to success that will help them accomplish the small micro objectives: training, deal registration, visiting certain content pages, executing on marketing campaigns, watching videos, sharing content and collateral via the co-branded collateral capabilities or co-branded email capabilities. As you build journeys focused on those micro behaviors, those ultimately drive larger program outcomes that help your partner accomplish these program objectives that you've laid out for them. So what we've found is that when you couple Journey Builder together with Program Compliance Manager, we can start to drive adoption of your partners, revenue of your partners in an automated way, just as if they had a tailored custom experience from a partner account manager, just in an automated fashion. And more partners doing that leads to larger revenue increases. And in some of our initial testing with large enterprise companies, we had seen as much as 30, 40, and 50% revenue increases. And these are companies that are doing millions of dollars in a quarter. So when you talk about 20, 30, and 40% revenue increases occurring in those types of companies, we're talking about millions of dollars that can impact your business. So a fantastic way to use Journey Builder to help drive larger business outcomes. So, these work very seamlessly together and support those objectives in just a phenomenal way. So that's a fantastic question. And I'm really glad to hear that our clients and customers on the call here today are thinking in that fashion. That's fantastic.
Awesome. That takes care of all the questions.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining today. We really appreciate your time. Feel free to reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you and really appreciate your attendance. Everyone have a great rest of your day, week, and into the weekend. We'll see you.